last from me. Still
Yes.
on the ASEAN, sir. It's your first ASEAN summit. What message do you want to give or deliver to the ASEAN community? And have you already discussed or finalized your talking points with U.S. President Obama and President Putin?
Well, I would just say that we are ready to cooperate in establishing good order among nations, that we are ready to do our part internationally, comply with our obligations, comply with the contracts that we have entered into with foreigners in this country doing business. And we are ready to talk also about terrorism and human trafficking, drugs, making my country a transshipment also by the Sinaloa and all of those big drug syndicates in China. And in Asia, rather. And in China, because most of the drug lords are there.
Sir, yung talking points, nandun yun sa tanong ko. Talking points with President Obama and President Putin, sir, have you finalized this?
Well, I do not, I simply do not, you are talking about anything and everything. They can have their own agenda, but I can have mine. And I do not, it's not in my system really I do not prepare speeches. I do not have notes. I just go along the drift where the talk is going to.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ina. Mia, next question. One question, one follow-up.
Hi, sir. Sir, you mentioned before...
5 ka kasi kaibigan tayo hanggang mahulog yung
Sir, you
madilim na.
mentioned before that you won't declare a state of emergency in Sulu because of the ESG.
No,
But
no,
however,
nothing of
sir,
the sort.
at what certain point...
Well, we
will you
have, I
consider
said, fighting going on. And as of the latest, it's between the Abu Sayyaf and the MILF. I think ang naipit dyan ang Yemen. So, pagka ganon, we could not have a peaceful talk there in Holo. I suggest that Miswari just simply goes out of his lair there, his den, and if he wants, I'll have him, the military or the police will just escort him to Davao for a better place or any other place he wants to be when he begins to talk to me. I mean, I don't care whether it's in Holo, Zamboanga. It's fine with me.
Okay.
Sir,
Follow-up, okay.
Sige, oh.
Sir, there's this text message circulating that the ASG will attack one of the military camps. Sir, do you have any order to the
Well,
AFP,
that should put us in full alert now because of reprisals, and that is nothing new to us. It could be anywhere. It could be in the whole of Mindanao. It seems that my plans have been overtaken because I've been wanting to have more police staff trained, about 5 battalions and several new recruits for soldiers of the AFP.
Okay. Thank you, Mia. Lala Babylonia.
Hi, sir. How are you after the assassination plot? And is it true that Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte requested for additional security for your family?
Well, he must be worried because he has many children. Nakakatakot lang rin. Ako, Inday pati sila, kaya na nila yan. And Sebastian, medyo malikot to, pasyal ng pasyal. But otherwise, we can defend ourselves.
Sir,
I can walk where I want to go and sinasangay ko yung sarili ko.
how about Kitty, sir? Your little...
Well, that one thing, she has, I think, security also. But siya lang. Ako, it's useless to be talking about the Presidential Security Command because they're always around me, whether I like it or not. I have been driving them away day one. But they just don't believe me, so there's nothing I can do. Alam mo naman ako, malapit sa tao. I go to where, I embrace them, I chika-chika. That has always been my norm as a politician. But apparently, when you are already a president, everything changes. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. Ika nga.
But sir, last question po. But are you planning to lessen your schedule outside Malacanang?
Again, ma'am.
Are you planning na bawasan po yung schedule niyo outside Malacanang?
No. I will not. Ayoko na magyabang. Pero no. Absolutely no.
Thank you, sir.
I live the way I want it. I work the way I must.
Thank you, Lala.
Sige, oh. Wala pa. Dalawa pa lang. Mga 20 ito sila eh.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, coming into the ASEAN Summit, you mentioned kanina that I'm Chino Gaston from GMA, sir. You mentioned na we cannot be slapped every day, may hangganan, and then you eventually have to make a stand.
Yes, because I hope China would realize that we went out of our way, we walked the extra mile to be conscious about this thing that we are not supposed to ignite. Ang problema is every time that they would reply, they would always say that they are not willing to obey the arbitral. They could have stated it otherwise. Ako hindi ako gumamit eh. Ako yung nanalo, hindi ako gumamit ng arbitral. Seldom. Sana naman, huwag na lang ninyong tanungin rin sila kung i-honor nila because they have said they refuse. What I would just want to know is there any additional construction going on, especially in the area of Masinloc? Because if it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, much as I would like to avoid trouble now, the other countries might just decide to invoke the maritime safety and begin to question using us, since we have the arbitral judgment in our hands. At kasi magsalita ka na, ikaw yung may hawak ng award. So, I do not dread the day, but I would just like to be comfortable until such time that I talk to them bilateral, face to face, eyeball to eyeball.
Okay. Sir, you also gave credit to the former president.
Yes, because he was the one who initiated the filing of the case before the based on UNCLOS doon sa International Tribunal.
Okay. Thank you, Chino.
But that would put us in a right bearing. Kaya nga, it is a journey to the future, but it has placed us in the right bearing. Yes, sir. May I help you?
Yes. Michael Sullivan, sir.
Can you use the...
Can I just ask, do you care, one way or another, about the growing criticism, both at home and especially abroad, about the rising death toll in the war on drugs?
No, not at all. Not a bit, because I said there is a crisis. If we are a small country with limited resources, with not so much money at hand, I am operating on a budget that was prepared by the other year, the previous year. The budget of tomorrow, just like in any country, America, is you prepare the budget now for next year's implementation. You know, we do not have the money because it is not in the budget. Nobody would have known that when I become president that there will be 3,700,000. I was worried about Davao. I thought it was also serious. But I never thought that it would reach in that dimension when I become president, because it has reached millions already. I have a problem here. So I will solve it the way with my limited resources and the way I want it. I am not worried about the international community because I am not the president of the international countries. I am the President of the Republic of the Philippines, and I must solve decisively this problem, or else the 3,700,000 will compromise the next generation of Filipinos. That is the thing that worries me, not the international community. For all that they can always talk and talk. I am invoking sovereignty, no interference. We never interfered in anybody's business.
But the number of killings that have occurred that are not police-related, that are not attributed to the police,
What?
do those bother you?
That is the work of people also. It's the internecine, and that is the result of the intrigue we planted so many years ago. We arrested him, but we released him, and we'll just say that, arrest the other guy, that he was appointed by you. Then this guy will be arrested and say, it was B, not us. Then when they start killing each other, you add more intrigues, and they'll kill each other. Better. Criminals kill criminals, that is not my worry. It is the extrajudicial killing of people getting rid of the criminals by their own hands. But we are 104 millions, and I cannot control the criminal minds here. You must remember that along the way, the drug crisis hurt so many people, including parents, who raise their children from childhood to college, spending money and time with your family, taking care, and to realize at the end of the day, your son or daughter is a hook and destroyed for life. That is a thing that you should worry. Or a soldier assigned here in Mindanao, fighting in Holo, only to learn, and there is a case, I cannot be specific now, then he was ordered home because her daughter was raped. And she was only in first grade. And I am sure you know Dirty Harry. And Dirty Harry felt something for the community. And if you are a soldier or a policeman, and your child gets hooks, with all the expenses, and you have to borrow from the government insurance system for every election, every enrollment, and then you find your son destroyed, do you think that I'll just limit myself to 100? I am telling you, I'll tell you frankly now, and you can repeat it all, that if I were the father, and I took care of this child, a girl, and then suddenly she's found dead, raped, would you think that I'd be contented just killing 1, 2, 3? No. It's always an eye for an eye at the end of the day. Who taught us? The movie of...
Okay, thank you, sir.
Who's that? Clint Eastwood personified it that way. And most of us saw the pictures, and every Departed or so many movies about Liam Neeson, about his daughter getting... What's the difference between Liam Neeson killing a lot of Europeans there and Americans because of what happened to her daughter? That is the same thing that happens in the... That is why the scriptwriter knows what's in the mind of the human being, and they write it, and they make it into movies. And it showed us, give us an example, and we think that the movie is good, and we should follow it. I mean, to the average family man. Now, how about the so many Clint Eastwoods in the police department? Well, if it is bad, then it should have been not shown at all, because it will poison the mind of everybody in the world. But since it was good, and it was only rated R for adults, everything is shaped up by the culture of the world now. It's a sinking world. So what goes in the mind of the Americans? And for example, how can you explain policemen shooting a black man there? So, one criminal mind of the United States Police, 10, 20 criminal minds of the police here. What's really it? Tell me what's the difference? A difference in figures or a difference in the paradigm?
So your war, no regrets.
No.
None.
Listen, my friend, can I consider you a friend?
I would hope so.
Okay. Let's limit ourselves to the truth. Oh, okay. I'll tell you. I stake my life, my honor, and the presidency itself. Anytime. Anytime. They can impeach me, they can kill me. I'm 71 years old. I have to protect the next generation, considering the sheer number of people without money. So when you are a user, you have to push to finance your urging because you have to have a fix in the day. Although it's small, they said it's a very poor community. Correct. I would not disagree with that. But at the end of the day, after selling to all of these poor people, you get about $1 million net. At the end of the day, that is what happens. Let us understand reality first before we go to the ideal theories of human rights and everything. For after all, America and Britain went into Iraq, killed so many people on one theory that there was weapons of mass destruction. Turned out there was none at all. And so how many people were killed? Women widowed. How many women, children were killed along the way? And yet there is no apology except from Blair. When I said that, I was sorry. This one is armor, and it kills people. This one is only a bullet in the head. This one explodes and destroys the man that is being hit into bits and pieces. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wala na pong questions. So,
my helicopter would...
helicopter.
Anyway, if I go down the sea, you are to blame. Go ahead.
no more.
No, I said, in this presidency, I said, I stake my life, my honor, and the presidency itself. I don't really need it that badly.
Okay. Thank
Just don't fuck with the next Filipinos, because there will be a portion of that next generation that is or will be fractured. Shabu, constant use of shabu for 1 year, your forensics say, not us, will shrink the brain of a person. You're better off with poppy because it is organic, naturally grown. Heroin and cocaine does not really. Shabu is a deadly mix, and if you really want to know, the water used there is the water that you use in your battery.
Okay.
So I have now about 700 crazy people running around. I cannot build. Oh, why don't you build so many rehab centers? You know, I became a president mid-step operating on a budget that will last for the end of. That is how it is in all governments. We never expect, or they who prepared it the previous year did not expect the real number of people that was, the real damage that was done to my country. I was very strict here, no problem. Many people were killed, but Davao is safe. You can. Now you try that in Manila. I challenge you. You walk here in Davao, and if you are mugged there or robbed there, I will resign. I'm telling you publicly. Go around, and if you are hurt, you lose a penny or your wallet or held up. Tell me. As long as it is the truth, I said we limit ourselves to the truth, I will resign. Okay? Next. Sorry, the pilots are worried. The
Thank you very
security
much,
officers are...
Mr. President, thank you very much
a little
sa
bit,
Kaubans Media. Thank you, everybody.
At the end of the day, you listen, do not make noise there. God damn it, I will shoot all of you. At the end of the day, it is really your love for your country. And that you want a new generation of Filipinos would have a better life than what we have had. And I said, do not fuck my country. Do not fuck with our children. We cannot afford the rehab centers of America that's given free. We do not even have the materials. Because the budget is being prepared. The rehab will be next year. Because this budget now does not contain that, because it was never for, nobody foresaw that there were already millions being hit by the drug. They just thought, it was just a street habit there. They never knew that it involved police generals, even the Secretary of Justice, and her lover was the one collecting drug money from. So, how can you? There are about 508 police generals, about 500. In Region 3 alone, there are 100 drug pushers who are policemen. Some of them are already have shrunk brains, and they will fight. They will fight, believe me. If you want, I can arrange, if there's a drug operation, not here in Davao, there's no more. If you are in Manila, and if there's an operation against drug, you bring your camera and go with them. And you will see the truth. Just call me anytime. And if there's a big operation, bring your camera and your men and piggyback the entire operation. Fair enough?
Thank you very much.